The Acer Nitro V, or specifically the ANV155151H9, is a pretty cool laptop with relatively powerful performance. How does it fare though? And is $700 a reasonable price for it? Is it a fair price for it? We'll find out. I'm Tom, welcome to THT. The Acer Nitro V is a pretty generic looking laptop, honestly. It's not the most expensive and it's decently priced for its specs, I believe. Is it worth it for $700, practically speaking? I think so. I mean, with a few upgrades though, definitely. Let's start off with the laptop's weakest point, and then get to the strongest point, of course. Now, the display is reasonable, I think, mostly. It's an IPS panel and it's capable of a refresh rate of 144 Hz. Why do I think the laptop's display is a weak point? Well, it has to do with colors. It only covers about 60% of the sRGB color space. That's not exactly great. I mean, most laptops have like 100% sRGB or pretty close, but 60% is just off the mark. I mean, maybe it's not that low, but you can expect colors to be less vibrant. Don't get turned off by that though. For gaming, you don't really need to have super accurate colors for the most part, but if you're doing content creation or professional workloads, then you ought to get an external monitor. Alright, let's talk about the rest of the laptop now. The Acer Nitro V, or at least this specific version, has an i5-13420H processor and the NVIDIA GeForce RTX 4050 with 6GB of VRAM. The i5 processor has 8 total cores and 12 total threads, and it has a maximum turbo frequency of 4.6 GHz. The CPU has a base TDP of 45 watts, which is typical. The RTX 4050 is an entry-level option, but it's fine for gaming, especially if you're just gaming at 1080p, which is the highest this laptop can go. For ports, on the right side we have a 3.5mm audio port, a USB-A port, and a Kensington lock. To the left, we've got the Ethernet port, the HDMI 2.1 port, 2 USB-A 3.2 ports, and a Type-C Thunderbolt 4 port. Now we'll talk about upgradability, but we'll have to talk about the gaming performance first. How well does it play? With Cyberpunk 2077, the laptop averages around the high 40s and very rarely reaches the low 50s at 1080p on ultra settings. GTA 5 on 1080p with ultra settings and MSAA at 4 times, the laptop reaches an average of around 80 to 90 frames per second, which is pretty great. Forza 5 at 1080p on ultra settings with ray tracing on, the laptop is able to get about 90-ish frames per second, which again is very great. And now, upgradability. The laptop only has 8GB of RAM in DDR5 and 512GB of storage in an SSD. Duh. Now, let's talk about the RAM. 8GB even in DDR5 is like hunting bears with a plastic fork made by some forced laborer. Thankfully, you can upgrade that, as this laptop has 2 RAM slots. Take note that this uses DDR5 RAM, which is physically incompatible with DDR4 RAM. The same goes for storage, though 512GB is reasonable. You can't go wrong with more storage. Thankfully, this laptop has an extra slot for storage, so you won't need a fresh install of Windows unless you wanna. You can scan these QR codes to check out the laptop and the RAM kit and the extra SSD, and maybe you can also buy them. Anyway, I'm Tom, and thanks for watching.